We need like intro music.
Well, hello there. We do need intro music. We should have intro music. Next season, we're having intro music. Welcome, everyone,
Mental
to
note.
episode 12, our final episode of season 2 of the Claiming Your Success podcast. Conversations here with Caroline and Sabrina. And man, we have been on a journey, not only through the entire season 2, hopefully with you, but also just trying to record this damn episode.
Joe had a moment of forgetting why we was doing this again in real time because it's getting posted today. And I was like, you just slapped me back in the face like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's tame. Come on, Sabrina, tell him.
We had all our ducks in a row. Everything was golden. We were like, we've had no tech issues this season. Like, it's been amazing. We recorded 2 episodes last weekend, so we could roll it out when we were both in great energy.
Yeah.
And then Riverside decided to not save the final episode that we recorded. It just went away. It just went away. So here we are on the day of publish that we're recording the thing that's about to be published. So
Because the message I got from Sabrina was, I'm staring at the screen for 20 minutes, hoping it's just going to pop up and come, and it's not coming, Caroline. And I was just like, so I'm there watching Sabrina, and I'm trying to laugh instead of cry, team. I'm trying to laugh instead of cry.
But again, I think, and Caroline said it best. She was like, okay, maybe that conversation we had was meant to be just for us, because it was kind of emotional and it was deeply connected. Maybe that was just meant for
Did you
us.
see the river
Yeah.
that was going
Caroline
along
was
my
crying
floor?
like a big old baby. It was emotional, but amazing. But Caroline was like, maybe that conversation was meant for just us. And
Just the two of us.
Yeah, and we get the opportunity to do it again. While you may think that we have all of our ish in a row and all of our stuff together, things still go wrong. And one of the things, I'm just going to share a quick lesson for me. I used to have this story in my head, like this mindset, and tell me any of you who are listening that can relate to this, that always said, because it comes from you're not good enough, right? That's one of my like major voices in my head. That's what she says all the time. This story that I created was that things are always harder for me, and nothing ever works for me. It like things are always harder and nothing ever works for me. So whenever something would go wrong, like a tech issue or something would fall through, or I had a plan and it didn't work out, or I would try something and it didn't go the way that I expected it to, that was always evidence and proof that that story was correct. I would always use it as like, yes, see, that's what that voice in my head would be doing. She'd be like, see, I told you. That Patrice, yeah, she's there. Patrice. She can be Patricia too. We can take that. But when this happened, and I'm working hard on rewriting this story because it's in there, it's grained in there. When this happened, I didn't even think that. It didn't even come into my head. And usually something like that, a tech issue or something that happened, would be like, see, your voice isn't meant to be out there. Nobody is interested in what you have to say. That's why the universe isn't letting you have your voice out there. That's what she would have said. But when this happened, we didn't even go there. So I share that with you because I think it's such a great example of the things that block us, that have the potential to block us. And then when our growth processes often pop in and we're really invested in it, the difference that makes.
Yeah. And all that comes to my head is literally just we're meant to fail in order to get better. We are meant to fail. That needs to be the entry on the form for primary school. We are meant to fail. Get ready. We're on a journey. Imagine if you read that at primary school when you're stepping into school. You ain't gonna be scared of failing. Anyway.
So true though.
So
it's so true.
We are meant to fail.
That I think that actually, because I wanted us to do a little recap of like the major things that we noticed this season in our communities, in ourselves, like the themes that came up of things we talked about. And I think that is such a key, that has been a foundational piece of everything that we've talked about this season, I feel like.
It is. It's literally like we need to just continue to keep trying. and not be afraid of the failure, the feedback, how to improve, how to further develop. Sorry, it's a lot. There's going to be a lot of me talking about this because it's something I've been through this
Love
week.
it.
And it's just, knowing that as long as it feels good to you, it doesn't matter the outcome, and that's what we need to kind of like unattached to the outcome. And I haven't actually looked at how many subscribers we have on season 2, but I know season 1 I was watching, and I know there was about what, 55. And something I was telling myself now, Sabrina, is that even if we only have 55, that's cool. Because imagine if we had 55 of those subscribers in a room in front of us. I know I'm gonna be popping bricks.
Mm-hmm.
55.
Mm-hmm.
Let me continue to grow until I know I can have 100 of you lot in front of me, and I'm fine. I'm fearless.
That's such a good point. I think that's such a good point because it's true, isn't it? Like we tend to undervalue when we have quote unquote low numbers. We tend to undervalue what it is we're doing. Oh, it's not worth it because we've only got however many. But you're right. If you had that many of people standing in front of you, would you be able to serve them well?
Would you be able to stand up and talk? Could you make sure you're providing value to all 55? And
So
people need to
true.
remember that, especially like in when it comes across in their business. Sorry, that was just going on to something else in business, and when you're worrying about clients, sales, anything like that. If you had it on a regular basis, can you maintain that at the level you're at now? Or is it that you need to continue to grow within yourself before you can even get to that point? You need to become it before you have it.
Oh, that was a word. Say that again,
Ah!
Caroline.
You need to become it before you can have it.
Oh my God, I just love you so much. It's so good. One of the other things, so yes, the big undercurrent has been that becoming and letting go of the fear and letting go of all of those things, it being perfect and all of that. We talked about that a lot. And I
Hmm.
think another factor in there that came up a lot, and I noticed this especially in the Q&A episodes that we recorded,
Hmm.
was people don't trust themselves enough.
Trust, belief, think they're worthy. Why should can they have that success? Why should it be me? No, they don't. And I mean, we didn't at one point, right, Sabrina? And then it just, for me, it feels like we always circle back round to the main things, the mindset, the journaling, putting your happiness first. Just focusing on your goals, what it is you want to get done. Don't feed the distractions. They all play a part, and it is just keeping consistent in all of those areas in your day to day. And I'll always compare it to a job. You go to if we're working full time, you go into your job 5 days a week. Are you working on yourself and doing all of those things at least 5 days a week? Some of them don't even, you could do all of that within the hour.
It's an important thing, reflection of how we're choosing to spend our time and our energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
something you said there really sprung out at me, and I think this is such a crucial thing to remember. And I talked about this with my client community last night on our weekly call. I mentioned it right before we got off, and I said a lot of people don't think that they have limiting beliefs. There are a lot of people in this world that don't think that they have limiting beliefs because for them, it's not a belief. It's fact. It's a reality. It's their reality. It's
Mm.
just the way things are. Like people will think that I could never start a business. And they think that that's a fact. That's a reality. They don't see it as a way of thinking that they have that can actually be changed because all a belief is something that you repeat, like it's a thought. It's a belief is a thought habit. Somebody said that once and I thought that was a great way of thinking about it. A belief is a thought habit.
Thought habit.
You
Yep.
just It's just something you think, you've thought over and over and over and over and over again until it just becomes part of your reality. So the problem with that, though, is that we stop ourselves from being able to move into a reality that we actually want. Like, how many people settle for a job that they have, or a financial situation that they're in, or a quality of relationship that they're in, a level of health that they have? They just settle for it because they think that that's all that's available to them. And it's not, oh, I know that I could do better if. No, they don't need, that's not even a thought. That is a reality. It's a fact. This is as good as it will get. And so I feel for those people, because you have to have some level of being able to look at the things that you're unhappy with in your life and be able to say, this, I can change this. But if
Listen,
it's,
you scared me there when you went boom. I was like, whoa. I was like, let me listen. I'm paying attention, Sabrina.
I get very expressive about this stuff. But right, and that's what I'm like, is important to remember is if you're blocked right now, if there's an area of your life where you feel unhappy or unsatisfied, or you wish things were different, where is it that you're making that reality your fact? And you're not seeing where there is a way in which you can change it. There's no awareness to the fact that this is just a limiting belief that you have, which means you can change it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I feel like the reason why we touch on it so much is because that's what we've done.
Mm,
You know, this is exactly what we've done. And where you said we were going to touch on talking about how much has changed
mm,
along our
mm,
journey, right,
mm.
since doing the podcast, and you said about our community, the audience. What are you more meaning, how they are responding towards like us on our social media, or how they're responding from the podcast? I've got a couple of things I'd want to touch on there.
Either. I think just any changes that I think we've seen in our audience, because I know that I've seen it. I've seen people be
Mm,
like paying more attention and wanting to debrief certain points after they've listened. Whereas maybe in season one, they were just kind of like, oh, yeah, I listened. It was good. But now it's like they're wanting to get into the nitty gritty of things. That's a big change that I've seen through this season.
yeah, because we got a little fame in our success community. That's how we got,
Isn't it
Sabrina.
fun?
Oh
It's
my
so fun.
God,
I love
I
it.
love it. You know, we've seen the people taking notes, firing back one-liners at us, like just when they send a message saying that really like spoke to me, and then people even sending the podcast episode to people they know and just saying, "Hey, my friend has this podcast. I think you're really going to benefit from this episode." Like, what in the what?
Isn't that
I'm
cool?
sorry, we're being shared around
Mm,
like we're a hot tasting meal. And then, you know, I was thinking about it, like reflecting after, and it was a lot of my emotions on Saturday came from, I
mm,
was not expecting to hear the feedback she gave me as to why she started following me, because I don't actually ask that question of
mm,
people, you know,
mm,
when they start following me. So to hear that was like a bit of a whoa, hold on a minute
mm.
here. This is why she followed me. I thought she was just doing a little one of the exercises on the how not to be taught to do network marketing and just follow a whole bag of people, you know, because
Mm,
do you know what I mean? So I
mm,
was so shocked to hear that. And then I've had someone comment saying, Caroline, you look like things are going so well. I've been always doing so good. And this is someone who checks in with me every couple of months, you
mm,
know. So I then thought, you're saying that on a week where I did the most, but I had the most fullest, like fulfillment in that week. And then it's like, but then you haven't seen anything for a couple of months.
mm,
I did actually first get my back up because I was like, what are they trying to say? Because I don't want people to think I'm out here showing off like it's all
mm,
easy breezy,
mm,
lemon squeezy when
mm,
I'm not. And you've just jumped on my page for a couple of months and seen a couple of, good couple of posts and reels and think Caroline's winning in life.
mhm,
But it was how they clapped back, which I really loved. They were like, no, Caroline. They were like, all I said was, what do you mean by that?
mm,
I haven't, like, it might not thinking I ain't said I'm winning anywhere.
mm,
I haven't said that. And they were like, how you respond to my message every time. It's always 100. I can hear your passion and commitment through what you're saying. And he was like, I know the road. He's in business as well.
mm,
He's all the way in Canada too. And he
mm,
was like, I understand business and how hard it is. And you always give 100 when you message me back. And I was like, love that. Isn't that what a true leader's meant to do?
mm. That part.
He kept me back when he sent that. I was like, whoa, shut up then, Caroline.
Mm,
You thought the wrong thing.
mm,
So it was a lot of feeling overwhelmed because, I had such a tough week last week. And to everyone, it looked like I was just winning.
mm,
And I just thought I really am not. And I do share when I'm not team. I share when it's hard and I've got a lot on with work. So it was a lot to realize that I still look as like, empowering, inspiring, all of that jazz, even when I'm going through the shit show of it
mm.
all.
And do you know why I think that is? Because it would be so easy for you to either disappear off your socials when you've got a lot on, which is what most people do, right?
Used to
Or
do as well.
way to own your ish, Caroline. I love that. Or pretend, like, literally just put up a highlight reel and pretend as if everything's great. But what I'm seeing, and like seeing from other people's perspective from when they're watching you and what they have to say, is that you share, look, have you guys seen what time Caroline wakes up in the morning? Like, first, that by itself is enough for me to be like, okay, this chick she's serious about her time. So there's that. Sharing the morning routine, like what all of that looks like, how you're fitting it all in, and then that you've got a full day at work. But then I think the reason why people can say it looks like you're thriving is because you intentionally, even in those really hard days, hard weeks, you intentionally make time for the things that make you happy, that bring you joy.
Hmm.
You don't pull away and isolate from the things that make you feel good when you're going through a lot. You
Mm.
intentionally lean into the things that make you feel good when you're going through a lot. And I think that that is the mark of somebody who has this success pathway already. It's already done. It's already done, because too many people let the hard times take them out
Yep.
of the game all at once, and then they come back a month later and you're starting from the beginning again. That's
Yep.
why business and success and growth and all of that feels so hard, is because stop start is not the way to do it.
You're so right. Yeah. And then what about your audience, Sabrina? How have you seen the difference from season one, season
I
two?
think it's been like I said, about wanting to debrief the things
Hmm.
and wanting to like get into, like, they'll send me messages of, oh, this part of whatever you guys said, this is what I took out of it, and this is what I want to like do with it. And they're really like getting into the granular pieces, not just taking what we're talking about as like overarching kind of core concepts, but actually wanting to apply it to their lives, not just listening for listening's sake, but listening
Yeah.
to apply. And that is what has to be done in order for anything to change. Because you can read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, download all the quotes, reshare all the motivational 30-second clips. But if you're not going to do anything with it, like, your life is not going to change because you read a quote that told you that you're a
I
badass.
know.
It's not.
Don't. Oh. And it's like, how about you be the person that actually creates the quote?
Or live it,
Live it,
live
like
it.
literally.
If you
Like,
read a quote that
oh,
said, I don't know, I'm a magical unicorn and life is working for me, go and live your life as if you're a magical unicorn and life is working for you. Don't reshare that quote and then sit watching Netflix because you're just so numbed out because you hate your life and you hate the people that are around you, and you have to isolate and pretend as if that's not real. Like, the outfit doesn't match, people. The outfit
does
doesn't
not
match, and we
match.
need matching outfits. Anyway, uh, what has been your favorite moment in this season, Kaza?
Right, I'm laughing again. I'm so glad I'm laughing again because honestly, when I shared this last on our first
I'll
draft,
pretend.
apparently,
Episode 12.
right, listen, it was just so funny. Uh, what I've loved, there was two bits, right? What I love most is literally the fact doing this podcast with Sabrina and all the vibing we have. It's when we do like the little mini singing 2 4 second clips within the podcast, I love that. And it's the fact that I'm on this journey with her, absolutely appreciate it. Like just doing it from two different parts of the world. What's your
Mm.
main different time zone, everything. And then my most funniest, I feel like it's the pre-recordings that we definitely need to also start
We
recording.
do.
Yeah,
We
a
do.
little pre-warm up, and then it's the after part because there's been a couple of times when we sent the messages after on the WhatsApp, and there's been a couple funny
Mm.
things. And there was one podcast clip where you'll see it on the episode when you watch it, right? I start talking about, a clip on a podcast to do with a crackhead hustling harder than on some entrepreneurs, right, to get their fix. And it was the fact that I got a message from Sabrina. I'm dying right now. Chat GPT, ask ChatGPT. Riverside just called our podcast episode the Crackhead Hustle.
I was crying. I was crying. And she literally said that sentence. It was like, what, 2 seconds it took you to say that? And we giggled back and forth a little bit about it and then talked about the concept of that a little bit. But the fact that out of everything, all the words we said in that 30-minute episode, what Riverside pulled for us to call this was Crackhead Hustle.
Maybe that would have turned a couple of heads and be like, yo, I need to listen to this. What's this?
Yeah, maybe
So
we should have
maybe
called it that.
strategic move next time. The universe was trying to guide us
It
and we
was.
chose not to listen.
Next time we'll go for the clickbait and then we'll see what happens. Oh man.
What about yours, Sabrina?
I think my favorite moments have come from our guests.
Yeah.
I think our individual connections with Jill and with Faye. There were some really special moments within those episodes that I really, really loved. I think those were my favorite moments. And then the thing that just makes me laugh so much is, I don't know, I think I'd steal yours a little bit of saying that we're just so in sync and in tune with each other that some of the things that we say, sometimes I think nobody's going to understand why that's funny, because we're two British women that are just like talking shit, basically. And we're like, is anyone gonna, but those are the moments actually that people like say are there. Oh, you guys, when you guys pop off and start giggling with each other, it's the best thing. Or when you say something super English that I have to then go and look up to understand what it is that you said, it's the best thing. Like, I just love it. I love it. I love the chemistry that we have. I think it's special. It is. Thank you for
something came in my head.
thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for doing it with me.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. So I think the way that we want to leave season 2 is just, as we've talked throughout the whole season about strategies, different tools, different resources we've shared with you, different ways of being we've shared with you, always coming back to your mindset and and what you're choosing. I think I just want to encourage all of you out there that are doing the things, you're doing the work, maybe you're struggling, maybe you're in a season where you're doubting yourself, maybe things are not going as well as you'd like, or maybe things are going great and you're worried that, how am I going to keep this momentum up? What if it goes away? Whatever your concerns are about the business that you're building or the career that you're trying to advance, I think we just want to send you like a little virtual love note to just remind you that you have to honor the struggle part of it. You have to honor the struggle. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to challenge you more than I think anyone ever anticipates it will. But it's so worth it, because everything you want lies on the other side of you being able to keep going.
Like, it's that you just have to keep going, especially when it gets hard. No journey's easy. No journey's easy, whatever it is you are doing. And the only reason why there's only that 1% that's successful is because the 99% give up. Be that 1% that keeps going.
Isn't that wild to think about? Like,
it's so wild.
Literally, the only reason only 1% of the population live the way they want to is because the rest, everybody else just says,
they didn't stop.
Actually, it's not worth it.
It's too hard. Not worth it. It's too hard. I don't want to have to do that, you know? And that was me, that was me. But where I am now is literally, okay, that didn't go how it was meant to go. But it's all right. Something bigger's coming. I just keep riding. That's literally how I am right now. Oh, okay, cool. That didn't go how it was meant to go. It's all right. I'm gonna keep going because it's gonna work out, and it's gonna work out, and something bigger's coming. Every time I get knocked down now, Sabrina, that's fine. That wasn't meant for me. And usually it gets highlighted in a few months down the line, the fact that that weren't meant for me, and then it will be something bigger's coming. And that is all that happens. And I can tell you that because it is happening to us. That is all that happens. You get knocked down, just keep thinking it is a test, and you're going to pass that test next time.
And the only way that you can do that is by continuing to fail and have knockbacks, right? Like, you don't build that kind of resilience and tenacity and grit from everything going hunky-dory, smooth sailing all the way through. You don't build what is necessary for success when things are going well. You build what is required for your success when things are going badly, when you're failing, when you're struggling, where, you know, things, you got your nose to the grindstone and you're crawling on your bloody knees to get through
Literally.
the days. That's when you build those characteristics and that character. And that's what builds a success. It's the character you build that builds the success. And so when we're sharing those things, like, that's what we want you to do with everything that we've talked about, everything from season 1, from season 2, all the podcasts you listen to, all the books you read, all the quotes and 30-second clips that you pay attention to. What we want you to do is integrate those things, integrate it into your growth journey. Don't just watch, don't just listen, don't just write the notes and then put that notebook back on a shelf, never to be seen again. Use it. Go and use it to change your life.
Sabrina, I'm trusting in the universe here, right? Because we actually only have 3 minutes left of recording this episode, and we probably ain't touched on half the things we actually wanted to touch on. And I'm thinking, is it because we're not meant to tell them about season 3?
I think,
Is it because
I
we're
think
meant to keep a couple of things to
I
ourselves?
think you're exactly right. I think the universe has our back once again, and we're playing devil's advocate and playing with you a little bit. But I think you're right. We had so many things to share about what you can expect coming from us next, but we're out of time and we can't share it.
We are. But I will say something that I didn't. So one thing that Sabrina had asked was, what am I looking? What was you looking to achieve like in the next
Personally,
few months,
yes,
right?
personally.
Personally achieve.
Or in our
However,
business, in
I
our
wanna
individual businesses.
right, and what just came to me as we've been recording this podcast, right, in my head, and I'm gonna say it aloud. I'm gonna share it with listeners because now I'm thinking, let's see,
Mm.
let's see if this happens, Sabrina. Something me and Sabrina joked about the back end of when we was doing season 1 was this going on being like a TV show. Me and Sabrina actually having our own, TV show or some sort of something, right, to do with claiming your success. So now I'm putting it out there because Sabrina does want to be a motivational speaker. I've been told, I'm quite motivated. Sabrina, we don't know where this journey gonna go,
We don't know. We don't know.
right?
We
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
And
But like
isn't
that
that
little joking,
exciting?
it is because we joked about it, but then we did then kind of like was like, well, no, but why not?
Mm,
Why not?
mm,
This could be something.
mm.
So that I'm gonna put out there.
One of the who was I listening to? I think it was Brendan Bashar when I was at Growth Day Live back in April. He kept saying, like, it was a 3-day long like seminar, and he kept saying something like throughout the days to like keep the audience, we're all keep us alive and awake up 10 hours of personal growth training over 3 days. And he would keep coming back to this theme of you don't know, like, because we were talking a lot about the mindset of getting past your blocks and getting past your hurdles. And one of the things that blocks people is that, like, this will never work, or what if it doesn't work, or I can't do that. And he would keep saying, but he would say it like this, you don't know. And he would be like, you don't know. And so
My spirit animal.
yes, so that's what we're going to say. Like, even for you guys listening, whatever it is that you're wanting to go out there and create, and you've got it in your head, I can never do that. That will never work. That will never happen for me. You don't. And we don't know how far this will
We
go.
don't
And
know.
that's so exciting to me.
Right.
Because personally, I have like some personal goals that I'm shooting for over the next, 90 days or so. Business, professionally, I've got a big launch coming up for my business that I'm super excited about. And so and I know, Caroline, you've got so much in the pipeline that you're working on too. And it's just so exciting to be in the work of it because, yeah, you might have the doubt of, will this work? Will it, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work out exactly how I want it to? But being in the process of building something and creating something, and it's just this is where the magic is. Be where the magic is.
Yeah. And I've just realized we literally have got our timeline of it with these
Yeah,
episodes.
we do.
So it's gonna, even just how far we're gonna go with the podcast. It's just it's exciting
It's
knowing where it
exciting.
could go.
Yeah.
And then next week came ahead is getting like a message. Can we invite you two down to have an interview about your podcast?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes, where we going? 5-star hotel. Business flights, please.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. So good. So, listeners, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this little community that we're building and we're growing. We can't wait to see what you do with the things that we've talked about and the things that we've shared. And yeah, just keep your eyes and ears open because season 3 is coming in hot and we cannot wait.
June, July, August, September. Only like
3 months.
3-4
Yeah.
months.
We'll be back.
Have your rest, Sabrina. I'll see you soon.
See you
Hibernation
soon.
time for us.
Bye, fam.
Bye bye.